Hi all, good evening. Today we are going to see about the vacuuming process in Postgres. So what is vacuum? Vacuum reclaims the storage occupied by dead tuples. Dead tuples means dead rows. In normal PostgreSQL operations such as update or delete, tuples that are deleted or updated are not physically removed from their table. They remain present until a vacuum is done. So what are the type of vacuum? The vacuum can be of two types, vacuum and vacuum full. So the basic simple vacuum reclaims the space and makes it available for reuse. This form of the command can operate in parallel with normal reading and writing of the table, because the table is not exclusively locked when we perform a simple vacuum operation. However, the extra space is not returned to the operating system. It's just kept available for reuse within the same table. Meanwhile, when we use vacuum full, it selects the full vacuum, which can reclaim more space, but this takes a much longer time and exclusively locks the table. This method also requires extra disk space, since it writes a new copy of the table and does not release the old copy until the whole operation is complete. Usually, vacuum full should be used only when a significant amount of space needs to be reclaimed from the table. Now we'll see the background process of vacuum and vacuum full. So let me create a table. I'm having only one column and making it as primary key. Inserting values. I'm creating sequence using the generate series option. So 1 to 10 values. Okay, so select star from pi underscore Postgres. I have 10 values here. So I need to know the CTID of each row. So to know the CTID of each row, I just give select CTID comma star from the table name. So it shows the CTID. The CTID is same like the row ID in row ID concept of Oracle. So here we say it as CTID. So CTID of each row and the value that belongs to the row. Okay, so 0 comma 1 is the first row CTID and we have value 1 there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to update a value. Let us see what happens after the update. Update. Set id is equal to 11, where id is equal to 2. So what I'm doing is basically I'm setting id is equal to 11 in this row. I'm changing this row. Okay, so I'm showing it here. Okay, now if you see, we can see that 0 comma 2 CTID, this whole row is getting removed. So now what we understand is when we are updating, when we are using an update in Postgres, what it basically does is it deletes and inserts as a new row. See, you can see it here. The new CTID of 0 comma 11 is created and the value 11 is updated. So basically update is delete and insert concept in Postgres. Okay, now I just want to add a new value. So insert into pi underscore Postgres. So even when I add a new value, the 0 comma 2, that CTID still remains unused. That is, now I have a dead tuple in my table. Okay, so now this update operation has created a dead tuple in my table. Now let's see how to remove the dead tuple using vacuum full operation. So now we know that a dead tuple has been created. But for Postgres, it thinks that the table still has 11 rows. But actually, how many rows are there? Only 10 rows are to be there because we have updated and only 10 rows should be there. But Postgres thinks that the table has 11 rows. When even when I insert a new value, why it gets added to a new CTID is because the Postgres thinks that the old CTID still exists in the table. That is, it does not know about the dead tuple. So now let us see how to see the dead tuple. Select star from pg underscore stat underscore. So now we can see the number of dead tuples here. See, the number of dead tuples is 1. Okay. So now what I am going to do is, I am going to do vacuum full operation. So vacuum full on which table? Pi underscore Postgres. Okay, so now vacuum operation is done. Now select. Now let us see what has happened to my table. CTID comma star from pi underscore. Okay, now we can see that all of my CTID has been rearranged. 02 has come and the data has been rearranged according to the CTIDs present here. Okay, so vacuum full basically rearranges the entire data of the table. This is why we say when a vacuum full operation is to be done, it exclusively locks the table, it requires more space, and it cannot be performed during a production hours because it locks a table and no user can simultaneously access a table when a vacuum full operation is being performed. I hope vacuum full process is clear with you. Now let us go to the vacuum process. So let me just drop this table. Create. I'm just recreating the same table. Using the same generate series option, I'm adding 10 values. So select CTID comma star from pi underscore Postgres. I have 10 CTIDs and the corresponding values. So now let us do the same operation here, that is update pi underscore Postgres set id is equal to 11 where id is equal to 2. So now what has happened is a dead tuple has been created, that is now my table is fragmented. Okay, now let me insert a value to check if it is the same CTID, that is the one that has been removed, or it goes to the next new CTID. Insert into pi underscore Postgres. No, it does not use the old, that is the removed CTID 0, 2. It creates in a new CTID 0, 12. Now let us vacuum the table and see what happens. Vacuum. I'm not using the vacuum full here. I'm just using the simple vacuum operation. Okay. Now we can see that the CTID has not changed. Okay, basically there is no change in the table, but now when I insert, I'm inserting value 13, we can see that the new value now I have inserted has gone into the 0, 2 CTID. So once I perform the vacuum operation, the table understands that the 0, 2 CTID has been a dead row and now it has been released. So all the incoming values in the table, that is all the values that are inserted in the table, will first get filled in the CTIDs that were recently released, and then only it will go to the new CTID. Now when I insert, it will take a new CTID, that is the next corresponding value. Okay, so this is how vacuum and vacuum full operation works. So vacuum, during the vacuum operation, the table does not get locked. The user can simultaneously connect and work on the table, but vacuum full operation locks the table exclusively and no user can connect to the table. So vacuum can be performed in business hours, but vacuum full cannot be performed in business hours. Vacuum does not release much space into the operating system. It keeps itself in the table for reuse, whereas vacuum full releases the excess storage into the operating system. Thank you.